All right, y'all, I'm back. No more protecting people. No more protecting people. Um, Spirit did inform me that the property manager, um, at the time, who was allowing all this fuckery to happen, he's gonna get fired from the company. So he will no longer be working for this apartment complex. Okay. Confirmation. If he isn't fired already, he will be fired. Um, the other thing is, there's just so much, y'all. The other type of spell work that would happen was they did chaos magic. So it was always something happening. Um, Things breaking, things falling apart, something always happening. What they would also do is they would try to attack my ancestors. So my ancestors would be busy trying to fight and protect me so that I wouldn't have protection. Some type of crazy ass magic that they would do. Okay? Where they would literally try to attack my ancestors, y'all. Now it's just like, fuck with me if you want to. You know? Fuck with me if you want to. I'm talking about spiritually. Fuck with me if you want to. It's crazy. It was like the type of magic that they were doing I ain't never heard of in my whole entire life. I didn't even think that shit was possible. I was just like, how do they come up with this shit? You know, we already know freezer spells, fire magic, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, spell work to put on your poom poom to dry it up? To make you less desirable for other men? I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never heard of that. All right, guys, let's just move on because I wanna I'm trying to keep on topic and within a timely, frame. There were two. Let me just say this before I forget. There were two specific readers. Well, there's more than two that Spirit had showed me of people that were tapping into my energy, that were being paid to tap into my energy. There's more than two. Okay? There's more than two. Now, but the two I'm going to stick out with is one, I specifically heard she's in her bedroom. Okay? Or I heard she's not in her, Spirit, what'd she say? She's not in her bedroom. Now, this person presents themselves as a tarot card reader. So they don't share that they have this particular gift. This gift would include like scrying. Okay? Either scrying or astral projection. Because Spirit was telling me they were doing one of the two. That's how they were able to identify where I was, like in my house. Okay, in my place. It wasn't due to cameras, it was specifically due to spell work. Okay. Because that's what Spirit had told me, because they also had shared the gift that she was using to identify where my location was. Okay. Another psychic, this one is all preachy, I love the Lord type. And she specifically had spoken to me telepathically and said, please don't come on my channel. Please don't comment on my channel. And she ended up deleting the comment that I made on her channel. And the comment that I had made was I was making people aware of what goes on as far as the tactics, like what witches, warlocks, and occultists do by way of monitoring you, more specifically through your dream state. It could be via mirrors, scrying through mirrors, or using some type of mirror magic, or even astral projecting, remote viewing. So these are some of the things that I was outlining, under her page. It fit given what the reading was about, and I thought I was helping people to give them an idea of what was going on. I went back on her page. The comment not only was deleted, but shortly after, I heard telepathically, she came to me telepathically and said, "I deleted your comment. Please don't leave a comment. Please don't come to my page anymore." That's what she said, telepathically. Okay. So since then, I ain't never gone on her page. Well, I don't want to say that. That's not true. Since then, I unsubscribed from her page. But I would go every once in a while. I would go and check every once in a while, And so I say that to say some of these readers, y'all, some of y'all favorite readers, fake, phony, karmics, the visions, I could make a slideshow of the visions that I got of the psychics that were tapping into my energy, one, and two, the ones who present themselves on screen one way, but are the slave to the dollar another way. Okay? They don't practice what they preach. They be preaching, but they don't practice what they preach, y'all. So I'm gonna just leave that there. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Let me go ahead and run down real quickly before I get into the different story times, because I always have story times within story times. But let me run down quickly some of the things that Spirit had shared with me of what was going on behind the scenes, behind my back. I'll put it like this. I know it seems like I may be going all over the place and trying my best to share what happened chronologically, but at this point, so much stuff has gone on. I'll try my best to do that, just to streamline things. But hey, if it doesn't work out that way, it doesn't. But some of the things that were happening behind the scenes for me is they were using my fake ID. They were using my ID. Like, it could have my address and everything on there, or their face, in their face. So it was essentially my ID, because it had all my personal information on there, my namesake, to get prescription drugs while they were being treated for mental issues, mental health issues, to help further support their case on why I'm not fit to either, one, get money from life insurance, so death benefits that was left to me, and not to get a house that was left to me in a will. Now, what I found out was this person actually went to a facility to get assistance for their mental health issues, crazy and all, but it was under my name. It was under all of my personal information. This is some of the things that I found out that was being done behind my back by Spirit. Okay? All of this shit is verifiable for the people who do this type of work and look into it. You will find it. Okay? You will find it. This is what Spirit is telling me. So then the next part is, this took place, the person was one of the baby mamas that actually went to a mental facility. Okay? Like, she is thrown off. Okay, she is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And she did get admitted into a mental institution for her mental health issues. Okay. But she went using my personal information to be used against me. Okay, that's number one. PPP loan frauds. Using my namesake, my personal information, my business information in order to gain funds, in order to gain credit cards, in order to gain loans, okay? In order to get a car. Okay? Better Business Bureau complaints against my previous business. Okay? I already shared with you blocking my money opportunities. Doing spell work. Glamour work, spell work, I guess that's what you call it, to put them in favor and then to make me look a certain type of way. Sometimes they would swap the energies, like I said before, put a filter on me, so like illusion magic, where even readers, they did this too, would pick up on the person's energy but would see me, you know, or vice versa. Pick up on my energy but would see her. This is how she would do spell work on readers too. She would do spell work on readings too, as they were being done. Okay. I was also being tracked via Google Maps. We already know that my phone was hacked. Filing fake police reports. Countless of fake police reports on me. I already told you about night vision goggles. Would use binoculars, park down the street and use binoculars to see what was going on inside my apartment, as if the cameras ain't enough, as if you scrying and you looking through the mirrors ain't enough, as if astral projection isn't enough, as if invading my dreams isn't enough, as if looking up my birth chart isn't enough, going to readers every day, going to practitioners every day isn't enough. I said, well, what the fuck? I already shared with you revenge porn on the previous videos that I did, on the 2 videos that I did with the youngin in Philadelphia, which is the same youngin who showed up at my door. September of 2023 is when he showed up. I didn't open my door. That's when I knew that everything that was going on was connected to him. That was confirmation. They were getting donations, setting up GoFundMe accounts to get donations in my name, so that if the police, FBI comes, law enforcement comes, guess who takes the fall? This is all the stuff that was being done behind my back to fuck up my reputation and my credit. CPN numbers were created. I don't even know what the fuck CPN numbers are. Spirit just told me CPN numbers. HIPAA violation. Paying people to work in my dental office, work in my medical office, to take a look at my records and changing them up to suit their needs. You know, their needs are going to their favor, even if that means to go against what I'm owed or deserved as far as what's being left in the will for me, because at this point I would be considered deemed unfit. You see what I'm saying? These are some of the things. Getting my blood work. Yeah, Spirit told me that too. Getting my blood work, selling it off to research laboratories so that they can study my DNA. These are contracts funded by the government. So not only was I a source of entertainment, I was an experiment. This bitch was brokering deals with the government, with and God knows who, just so she can get more money. This group, and I found out this is what they do. This is what they do. I'm like, how many more ways can you make money off a bitch? And I ain't getting none. And you splitting it with everybody else. Yeah, stealing my blood work. They even got the neighbor behind me. One of my spirit guides said, keep an eye out for the guy who has gray hair with a dog that walks with a limp. Turns out it's the neighbor behind me who had cameras in his trees that looked into my apartment building. He was also responsible for being the space to allow others to perform, use direct energy weapons on me. Spirit just told me also storage to use direct energy weapons on me. Spirit gave me his full government. I ain't fucking playing. Let's talk about workplaces. There are currently 6 departments where I work at, where people were hired as part of the Gangstalking campaign. Currently 6 departments. Spirit specified who they were, identified which department they were in. This chick was also getting disability checks. I said, Spirit, how? How? Forging signatures, okay? Using my birth certificate, but switching the dates, and then presenting themselves as my parent of a sick child. So the SSI checks, the disability checks are coming in. Another way to make money off of me and to exploit me. Okay? These people would also do, I already shared with you how they would do animal sacrifices. There were times where they would do specific animal sacrifices. I would be woken up out of my sleep because I could feel the animal's pain. Do you hear me? I think I'm going to stop right here for now. All right, see you on the other side.